We're now going to hear from our very special guest today, the Venezuelan Ambassador Samuel Moncada. I said that correctly, thank you. Lots of you know Samuel, I know, because he's done a fantastic job working with trade unions. He's no stranger to trade unions in the UK and others to get the truth out about Venezuela, as have indeed all the staff at the embassy. And we'd like to thank them for your unstinting support for Venezuela's Solidarity campaign. Samuel, it's a great pleasure to welcome you today. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, first of all, let me thank the TUC for having us today here. For us, it's a magnificent opportunity to update you about the process that's going on in Venezuela, not just the electoral process, but also the social change process and the whole revolutionary process, I would say, that Venezuela is spearheading in Latin America. Because that's one of the important things I want to stress. It's not just Venezuela, it's the whole region, the whole South American region, which is changing right now. And we are at the forefront of those changes, and that's why we are suffering from it. All the attacks from the right wings all over the world. And we are approaching a critical point, the first Sunday of October, when we're having again national presidential elections to legitimate our leadership. And it's a very important point in the sense that the right wing and the reactionary elements within Venezuela and around the whole region, the whole hemisphere, I would say, it's not just even South America, also North America, are absolutely determined to stop Venezuela carrying out their changes. And the first thing I could tell you is that the good news is that we are winning. I mean, all the polls are saying, all the polls, even the opposition polls are saying that the lead of President Chavez is at least 15 points, 15% in the list. Some others say more optimistically, or hopefully 20%. But let's say 15 points, which is a lot, 3 weeks before the elections. And it's almost unavoidable the fact that we are going to win this election. And it's an unstoppable win. And the point is that they are realizing exactly so. And they are trying to spoil the whole victory by undermining the electoral campaign, by saying that the electoral campaign is not fair enough. And also, most importantly, by undermining the quality of the process, saying that the actual scrutiny of votes in Venezuela is not transparent enough, that the National Electoral Authority that is in charge of the process, which is an independent authority, independent from government and from any of the public, according to our constitution, is an independent power, as independent as the judiciary, the executive, Congress. It's an independent power. The National Electoral Authority is not good enough. So the important thing here is that we need to strengthen the idea that our elections are fair. That, it sounds ridiculous, but after 15 national elections over the last 12 years that have been declared as we have been said here, fair and free, now still we have to fight and struggle around the world to convince the international public opinion that this coming election is fair and transparent. The second thing is that we know for sure that elements from the opposition have been going around the world, even coming to Britain as well, to talk to the governments all over the place, to the government in Britain as well, asking for support in their struggle to convince the rest of the world that they are sure to win, but if they don't win, it's because there was fraud. You see, that's the main point. And if you want to prove it, I just read this morning, I found it this morning on my email and read it on the way here. This paper written by a former Venezuelan ambassador, former US ambassador, American ambassador to Venezuela, Patrick Duddy, and he works now for the Council of Foreign Relations, which is a think tank in the US, and he's saying exactly so. He's saying things like, for example, that the most plausible scenario for instability and conflict in Venezuela derives from the premise that the Chavistas will not willingly surrender power and would be willing to provoke violence, orchestrate civil unrest, or engage in various forms of armed resistance to avoid doing so. That's the premise where they are working, which they are working from. And they are trying to spoil the whole thing, and we need to convince and to show everyone that we are going to win fairly and squarely, that the popular will is with us, that we are a democratic country, an open country, with free media working, with a vibrant media, and even with an active opposition, that when they win in regional elections, they accept the results. But when they lose in national elections, they don't like it. So they are really actually sore losers. And we need to express that idea, and we need you to work with us in that way. Because the best friends we have found, and I can say that after 4 years of working here as an ambassador, our best friends in Britain are the trade unions. I mean, we share with you the values of social change, the values of workers' organizations, the values of progressive change. We share with you the idea that public services and universal services are the essential way to improve our society, to better our quality of life, and all that is at risk in Venezuela if the Americans succeed with the most reactionary sectors of Venezuelan and South American public opinion, trying to spoil our legitimate democratic process. So what we need from you, actually, is to pay attention for the next 3 weeks, and the first week of October will be even best. Pay attention to what's going on in Venezuela. I know you have plenty of problems on your plate now, but pay attention to Venezuela the first Sunday of October, and look at what's going on there, and defend the popular victory of the progressive forces. And when the opposition and the Americans come here through their media, trying to say that again there was fraud, or that happened in 2004 actually, and in 2006 they sabotaged the whole electoral process. If they try to do it again, please act out according to your means in the British media, through your unions, through your mechanisms to influence power and to convince the rest of the British public opinion that there was a fair democratic process in Venezuela. We are absolutely compromised, involved in the fact that we are fighting for the people and with the people. Without the people it would be impossible. And our leadership is a popular leadership. And even though, as we know, and you know, it's a public fact that President Chavez is suffering very serious illness, it's with Chavez and even without Chavez, by winning democratic elections, that we will carry on our revolutionary process. But we need an international hand, because this is an international struggle. I mean, they are going around, they are mobilizing their forces, and we need to do exactly the same. And we count on you for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much indeed, Samuel.